For our Module 10 worksheet, we are going to be working on taking an equation and solving it into a graph and taking a completed graph and or table and writing what the equation is. So we're going to start with this first one here. So it tells us that every time we have 6 x's, it's going to equal the y. So all we're doing is taking these and plugging it in and solving. So this first one says 6 x's. That means, right, this is times 6 of the x's is 4. 6 times 4 is going to equal y. So I'm going to have you go ahead and do the 9, 6, 9. Sorry, if x is 9, what will y be? So now the opposite way, if we know y, we're going to work backwards. So let's say we have 42. So we have 6 x's, and that's going to equal y is 42. So we need to see x by itself. So this is exactly like we just did in Module 9. I want x by itself. This is times, the opposite is divide. So I'm left with x equals 42 divided by 6 is what? And that's going to go right here. And I'm going to have you try 30 on your own. So 6 times what equals 30? And that will be that x right there. So you're just plugging in the values to solve for the table. Okay, this next one tells us when we have g and we add on 15.2, that equals h. So I'll help you with this one here. So, excuse me, we have 7 is g. So I'm taking 7 and I'm adding on, I'm actually going to stack them the other way, 15.2, and that's going to equal h, because this is 7 plus this is h. So we need to line up our decimals, add those together. So right, we're not doing the opposite because h is already by itself. We're just putting these together. What is h? So go ahead and do that, and that will tell you what h is. And then this one, we'll go with 33. So we are looking for g plus 15 and 2/10. Oops, not make a 2, and it's going to equal h is 33. So I want g by itself, so the opposite of adding 15 is to take it away. And if I do it to this side, I also have to do it to this side. We need to make sure we line up those decimals. So it's going to tell us g equals what when we do this? And that's going to go right there. So I'll let you try these ones on your own. So 24 and a half is g plus 15.2 equals h. And then this one, g plus 15.2 equals 47. This one we'll have to solve and do the opposite to keep that balance there. Let's go ahead and try those on your own. All right, so now these ones, we're trying to figure out what the pattern is. How do I get from here to here? So we can see each of these are getting bigger. So that tells me I'm either adding or multiplying. I'm going to start with multiplying. Okay, so when I do 3, how am I getting to 21? Right, 3, 6, 9, that's a bad hand to count with. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So it took 7 times. So when I did this, I timesed it by 7. Right, this line's kind of like, here's our equals. Okay, let's see if that's the pattern. It has to be true for every single one. It's 5 times 7 is 35. 7 times 7 is 49. And 8 times 7 is 56. So we're taking r, whatever r is. So now the only number we want is this 7. Once we find the pattern, that's the only number that's going to be in our equation. So we're taking 7 and we timesed it by r. 7 of the r's equals the v. So no more numbers. Once you know the pattern, you just say, okay, well, what was my pattern? It was times by 7. 7 of these equals this. Okay, so let's try this one together. Here we have 3 to 5, so we're getting bigger, 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 bigger. There's nothing times 3 that's going to make 5 nicely. So let's try adding. How do I get from 3 to 5? Well, we added 2, and that equals 5. Let's see if our pattern is true. 4 plus 2 equals 6. 9 plus 2 equals 11, and 15 plus 2 equals 17. So we found the pattern. So now the only number we're going to use is plus 2. 2 plus what is going to equal this column, no matter what. So remember, the only one number we want to use is 2. So I'm going to have you try this one. So I need the number 2 in there, right? We're adding 2. We need to use the B, and we need to use the C. See if you can make an equation to represent this table. So no matter what, right? If I took B, and let's say B was 40. When I add on 2, that should tell me what C is. So I'm taking B, I'm adding 2, that equals C. So if you listened, I just said what the equation is. So you find the pattern, use the pattern with your variables to write your equation.